Hi, I'm Jenna, and this is the Book of Jenna. And I have a few episodes that I've recorded, and then I stopped. And so I'm back, and I'm happy to be back. I have gotten quite a few messages from the universe. I've heard you, universe. I am here. Of this is needing to be done again, and I need to put more intention into it than I maybe did the last time. Um, And so we've had some things that have kind of shifted in our world. We're back to homeschooling our daughter. And so anytime there's a little change in, um, oh my gosh, what's that word I'm looking for? A change in course. I don't even know what word I'm looking for, you guys. This is wild. Um, you tend to shift focus and things fall by the wayside. And so my podcast really fell by the wayside. And if I'm being completely honest, I have this weird fear that I'm going to get over of being too big. And so I think part of doing the podcast makes me feel as though I might become too big. And then what might happen? People might judge me. OMG, guys. And while I play off that I'm pretty cool about being judged, sometimes I really don't like it. And I really don't like when people maybe don't like me deep down inside. But I also know that not everybody's going to like me. They never have and they never will. So if you don't like me, leave. And I wish you well. Please have a nice life. Take care of yourself, love yourself, be a beautiful human being to others. Don't be mean to me. Um, but really, I'm fragile sometimes. And so I think that that is part of why I have let this go, is because even though I know that what I have to say is wonderful and that I come from a place of love most of the time, um, I'm not always, right? But none of us are we? And that's the gift in life, is that we aren't always perfect. Which is also sometimes very hard for me. Anyone else? So I have put this off for a long time because what if it's not perfect? And what if I mess up? Or what if I say the wrong thing? Or what if someone tells me I'm wrong? And that has definitely affected how I show up for my podcast. But recently, in conversations with my cosmetology clients, I have been tested the last 2 weeks, and I have been mm, nudged in a very lovingly way to challenge myself. And it wasn't necessarily by them, but it was the conversations that we've had behind the chair that has caused me to really reflect inward and say, okay, Jenna, like, you've heard this for years, decades, and yet you're still here playing it small. You're still here second guessing yourself. You're still here thinking that what, you aren't worthy of this, or what, someone won't like what I have to say, or someone might judge me, or I won't be perfect. I won't have all the research. Come on, guys. Not having all the research is definitely one thing that has kept me small. Um, I'm not sure if you know anything about human design, but I have a 5-1 profile, and we love research and we love to solve problems. But because of that, it's easy to never feel prepared because the internet has given me abundance of research, you guys. I could research the same subject for hours because there's so much to look at. There's so much to find. Um, and that has definitely kept me from showing up the way I would like. because I feel like an imposter. Anyone else ever felt that way in their life? Like, man, I know things, but do I know things? And so that's kind of where I'm sitting right now. But I had this conversation with a client recently, and I am very grateful for her. I'm very, very grateful for her and just her honesty and her who she is, her experiences in life that's led her to who she is, so that she can ask questions or say things like, Jenna, you can suck at your podcast, but you can't skip it. And I was like, damn. Like, what do you say to that? Of course, you say, yeah, I got nothing to stand on here. No legs, no legs. So I have been marinating on this for a little bit, and I have decided that she's right. I can absolutely suck at this, but I cannot skip it. And then, what's even funnier is that no lie, the same day, didn't even say anything to Adam. And he said, hey, babe, I was listening to some guy in the gym today, and he was saying that majority podcast people don't even make it to the 21st episode. They quit before because of whatever reason. And he's like, but if you can make it to 21, 22, 23, you have like a 35 to, I don't know, 45% more chance of being successful with it than if you quit before then. And so I don't know if you know me very well. Some of you do. Some of you, this is your first listening to me. I love a good challenge. I love a good challenge, you guys. So I was like, okay, I'm listening. And then I had another client that said, your impact is so big. Why are you behind the chair? Okay, thank you. I was like, uh-huh. Yeah, I hear that one too. So I sat on this for a little bit, right? Because I was like, really? Really? Like, are you just playing with me? Maybe this is just, I don't know, coincidence, right? Anybody else believe in coincidences? Um, but it wasn't. And so the more I sat on it, the more I thought about it, the more I thought in general. I know that my impact on women, especially, is large. It's something that I'm really passionate about. I'm really passionate. I just love seeing people live their best life. I don't care what you do. I don't care what it looks like to you, because I believe that we are all so individual and there's so much out there for all of us, right? Like there's, I don't know, a billion trillion people here, and there are a billion trillion ways to do things, right? And so I just want people to win. I want people to live their best life. I want them to feel good about their day. And so I was like, I'm not going to do this podcast yet. I'm not going to do this podcast yet. And then today I just had this feeling of, I'm so, oh man, how do I articulate this? I am stagnant. I am in a stagnant space right now, but I have so much energy through my body that it needs to come out in some way. And so I decided I would start this again, and I'm just going to use it kind of as a personal diary, right? So, um, I figure if I can do 15 minutes to 30 minutes episodes, we can get through the good stuff real quick. and then you can go on about your day. Me too, boo. Me too. So, I thought that this mindset shift that my client gave me, the one of you can't skip it, but you can suck, was really profound for a lot of aspects in life, right? How many of us don't go to the gym because we're afraid of the weights? So many women, right? Because you're afraid that those people that have been there and go to the gym every day and have been for the last 10 years are going to judge you. And here's something I really want people to know, because I think it's so important. And I have had this conversation with many people, many gym rats, many bodybuilders, many types of human beings. We don't care. We're so happy you're there. Thank you for showing up. But to you, you're afraid you're going to suck and that people are going to judge you. And Jenna, you should apply this right now. Okay. So sometimes I say things and it's like I'm talking to myself and about myself. So if this resonates with you, really happy. If it doesn't, it's apparently about me right now, with love. But I'm so proud of you for going to the gym if you've never been there. I'm so proud of you for taking care of your body. I am so proud of you for showing up for yourself. And I will never, ever, ever judge you. Neither will 90% of the people there. And those other 10% judge everyone, not just you. They're assholes to themselves too. So it's not you, it's them. Okay. But that's the mentality, right? Is that if I'm not prepared enough, I shouldn't go. I'll skip it today because I didn't research all the workouts that I'm supposed to do. You guys, I will watch videos inside the gym at the bench with the free weights in my hand to try to figure out how to do it. You should too. We don't judge. Anyways, if you go to the gym, you notice that 99% of those people are on their phone anyway. They do not even look at you anymore. They don't look at you. They won't talk to you. They don't know your name. They could care less. They probably couldn't pick you out of a lineup. So stop being afraid. Yes, I'll listen to myself too, guys. Thank you very much. Um, but it's true. And I think that it's that way in so much of life. Um, we don't wear our two-piece bikini to the beach because we're afraid people are going to judge you. You can suck in a two-piece, babe, okay? But you can't skip it, right? Like at the end of the day, you can absolutely not look the way you think you should look in that bikini, but no one else cares. And I live in Florida. We don't care. We don't care. Get your sun, girl. Enjoy your life. And the people that do care and that are sitting there looking at you, judging you, they have miserable lives. Period. And the people that live with them probably don't like them either. Sorry, not sorry. But if you are a judgmental person, you are not a happy person. And I believe that so very much. Um, because we all have crap. And we're not in high school anymore. We're just not. We are grown women. Some of you are going through menopause and you're still acting like a catty Bia from high school. Stop. Stop. So do the things that bring you joy. Do the things that make you feel good. Do the things you need to do. Don't skip it. Unless it's dessert, you can't have that every night. Okay, you can skip dessert. Skip dessert. But you can't skip the other things that are important. Sometimes I feel like I want to skip certain moments with my family because I'd rather have silence or I'd rather have 20 minutes to myself. But at the end of the day, if I skipped that time with my family, I would be really sad. I would be really sad. And I think too, especially when you are a parent and your kids are maddening sometimes. We love them, but sometimes we just don't get a moment to ourselves. Um it's easy to want to escape, whether it's through your phone, it's through alcohol, which I highly recommend. If that is something that you are doing, please reach out to me. We should talk. Um, you have got to refocus and you've got to realize that you can't skip the time with your children because they will not be children very much longer. Um, and so I know it's hard. I know it's hard because those days are long sometimes. So I do have some thoughts that I want to leave you guys with. And these are thoughts that I have marinated on a little bit. But just, things to maybe this message has resonated with you. Maybe you realize like I do skip a lot of the things I shouldn't be skipping. I could just suck at them. I could just show up and suck. And that's okay. Like show up and suck. I think the thought behind it is just building the consistency, right? The 21 days, the 21 podcasts, the 21 workouts, right? Like just getting to that number because your body is going to start doing it on its own. Your brain is naturally going to say, okay, this is just what we do now. Every day at 10 o'clock, we just record a podcast. Every day at 9 o'clock, we just go to the gym. It's just what we do. I've started setting my alarm for 5:55 in the morning because I just want to get up and get a workout in, or just want to get up and have an hour to myself. And quite frankly, I'd rather get up early than stay up late. I love getting up with the sun and watching the sunrise. And so maybe that's something that you implement. Maybe it's not skipping your alarm. You're just going to get up and kind of suck. At least you're sucking in peace by yourself, and you can doom scroll if you want to. You know what I mean? It's reworking things so that you can use your time wisely. And really, this is a conversation I should put a mirror on the wall, you guys, and just, or maybe a picture of myself and just talk to myself, because literally, Jenna. Um, but I know you can all relate because we do it. And so maybe we start this together. Maybe we start this don't skip but suck together. And you guys just show up with me while I'm sucking at this podcast, and just show up for yourself and become the person that who you want to be, the person that you keep looking at and saying, if only I could get my shit together, I could do this. If only I wasn't so lazy. It's not that we're lazy. So we're not using our time wisely. And then when we don't show up for ourselves and we skip ourselves, that's when we feel resentful. It's when we feel burnt out. It's when we feel our most not self. And so I want to encourage you to just show up and suck for yourself in whatever capacity that looks like, because we all have different things. Mine's the podcast. Yours could be working out. It could be eating, right? It could be cooking every meal, like whatever it is for you. And so here's some thoughts I want you to think about this week, because I think that if I leave you with some nuggets, we can all grow together and you can do some inner work, because really that's what we're all doing out here right now, right? We're that generation that's changing the world because we don't like it. so, um, So one thing that I had written down about like all the synchronicities I was seeing, the messages from Adam, the messages from my clients, the messages from my friends, just things that people were saying that really struck that chord with me. The question was, how do I use these nudges from the universe to move on? And I know that answer looks so different for everyone. But for me, clearly it was taking action. I just needed to take action. So I started journaling. I wrote down like conversations that I had with clients, little nuggets from them that made me um that made me sorry, my computer went into sleep and I was like, "Oh my gosh, it might not record." Okay, anyway, see, we're sucking together. Um for me, I have to do action. So I wrote down the thoughts that made me go, okay, that's a good one. Oh, that makes me think. Oh, and I started to expand on that because those thoughts, everyone's having those thoughts. If not everyone, a lot of us are having these thoughts, and a lot of us are wanting more out of life, but we can't figure out how to get there. Like, how do you cross that threshold? So, I know for me, it's action. I feel better when I take action. My body feels better when I act. Well, acting and not acting and sucking go really hand in hand. Sorry, guys. Oh my gosh. Okay. Anyway, so it really goes hand in hand because as long as you're taking action, it's okay if you suck. But if you don't take action, you don't give yourself the opportunity to suck. So that there. And then the next one was, how can a shift refocus you? How can just a nudge from someone, how does that refocus you? How does that um thought process, when you shift your mindset, right? And you change from I can't do this to I can suck at this, right? How does that shift the mindset and take away pressure? Does it take away pressure? Do you feel less pressure when you say, well, I can't skip it, but I can suck? And that's a possibility. It was for me. I was like, okay, like shifting the focus to if I suck, it's all right. At least I'm taking action. So then the next one is, how do you stay consistent? What keeps you accountable? How do you show up for yourself when maybe your tank is empty? And so for me, I'm going to try a couple different things because consistency has always been a struggle for me. And even now in the gym, I not worked out consistently in a hot minute, and it shows mentally, emotionally. And so how do you stay consistent in this? Like, you get this burst of energy and you're like, hell yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it all. Balls to the wall. It's on like Donkey Kong. I will suck so bad at all of this, but it'll be great. Well, honestly, that energy burns out. I don't care who you are, or what your design type is, your energy is going to burn out. So, how do you stay consistent? How do you keep showing up? What does that look like? So, for me, I decided, you know what? I'm going to report a podcast for at least 30 minutes. I'm going to go upstairs and sit in my podcast room for at least 30 minutes. I have to do something. It has to be podcast related. And maybe that's what that looks like for you. Maybe it's, I have to move my body for 30 minutes today. It doesn't matter what that looks like. It could be a walk, it could be a dance party, it could be running up and down the stairs at my house. It could be walking laps around my house. It could be playing with my dog outside. What does that look like? And setting that timer. And when the 30 minutes is up, you did it. You may not have done it well. It may not have been your best workout. It may not have been super great. It may be sloppy, whatever it is, but you did it. And so that's one thing I'm going to try to implement, is just setting that timer, 30 minutes. 30 minutes a day, I have to do something podcast related. I could just talk to ChatGPT for 30 minutes if that's what it is for that day. You know what I'm saying? But at least you're being productive. And I think the key behind this message is that I just want you to take action, sloppy action, crappy action. I just want you to take the action. So then my next thought was, what does doing one extra small task a day look like? And I think we kind of talked about that in the how do you stay consistent. One small thing a day. What does that look like? Does it look like always recording a podcast? Absolutely not. But it could look like journaling because that leads to conversations on the podcast. So, what does that look like for you? And how does that affect your goal? The next one is, how does that influence or change our lives? How does not skipping and sucking change our life? What does that look like? Does that look like getting the body you always dreamed of? Or does that look like being healthy? Does that look like having a clean house? Maybe you struggle, and one task a day is maybe I just do the dishes today. I sucked at cleaning my house, but my dishes are done. I mean, that's not a bad day, guys. That's not a bad day. Um, and how does that then change your life? So for you, it could look like anything, right? For me, okay, does that look like I cross over that 21 episode podcast and I grow bigger? I have a bigger reach. I'm able to give more women help to change their life. How does that change you and the world that you're living in? And then the last one says, how can we apply this and hold ourselves accountable, but allow grace able to keep, if you aren't capable of your list? Because we're all human. So, a thought that just came to me after reading that out loud was, are you giving yourself days off? Are you giving yourself a day where you don't have to show up like that because you need to use that 30 minutes for yourself? For maybe it's your Sunday reset and you don't show up on Sundays because Sundays you are focused on other tasks. Is it, I work late on Mondays, so Monday isn't going to work for me. I think that having a realistic schedule for yourself where you show up when you have put yourself on that. Man, that did not come out how I wanted it to. Okay, hang on. Okay, so does it look like you give yourself a schedule, right? Get yourself a book where you can say Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I show up. I can't skip. I have to suck. And then giving yourself Saturday and Sunday where you don't have to show up. Like, okay, I don't have to work out those days, but I have to eat healthy? Or is it I am giving myself full grace Saturday and Sunday so that I can reset for the weekend or the week? Um, I don't know what that looks like for other people. I don't even know what that looks like for me, you guys, because sometimes I feel like if I skip and if I get out of a groove, it's easy for me to stay out of that groove. So that one may not that idea may not work for me, but it may work for people who need that extra rest. My manifestors, my projectors, and my reflectors, you guys need a ton more rest than we do. So maybe it looks like that for you guys. Maybe for that type of design, it looks like I do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. And then I do Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday the next week. But I think finding something that works for you, that holds you accountable, in a way that doesn't stress you out. Because I don't know if you guys are like me, but if I feel too stressed about it, I will avoid the fuck out of it. Period. I'm going to avoid it. And then I'm definitely not showing up. So it has to be something that works for you. And that's why I feel like sometimes when we tell people how to do things, or we go to a therapist and they say, do X, Y, and Z. Not that there's anything wrong with therapists. I don't believe that. But I do believe some people are too by the book. We are not all the same at all. I said it earlier. There's what, a trillion people, and there's a trillion different ways to do things. Um, I believe that. So I think finding something that works for you is so important in the concept of you can't skip it. You could suck at it, but you can't skip it. And what that looks like inside of who you are as a person is different for everyone. Uh, and that's why when we try to emulate what other people do and it doesn't work for us, it's because it wasn't made for us. Um, and so, isn't that fun? Oh, but really, that's part of life, is just figuring out what is made for us, what is going to work for us. How are we going to be able to hold ourselves accountable, but not stress ourselves out about this, because it's also not worth that. The stress is worse than I think the action sometimes. Um, so those are my thoughts on this, and that's kind of the transition I'm going to go to. I just want to be someone that you can come and understand that you're not alone, that we all feel a lot of freaking things, and a lot of things are off, and a lot of things are not how they were really designed to be. And I think we've gotten away from who we were designed to be. Um, and we'll explore that more as this goes on and as I unravel my thoughts and my life and my conversations with people. But I am so grateful that you're here. I hope that you like and follow and share this if you think someone you know could really benefit from it. Um, and I look forward to seeing you again, or hearing you again, or talking to the abyss again, because really that's what it feels like. Like, why would I even say that I would be looking forward to hearing from you again? Because I'm the one talking to you. But you know what? This is all part of the process, my friends. Welcome to my process. I hope that you love that I say a lot. Hopefully, I work on that and I don't do that all the time, but such is life. Uh, Here's to 20 more podcasts, my friends. Much love.